Hey, Amy Posner here, and I want to talk to you today about the power of saying no. Okay, so you know that your business relies on clients, right? Landing projects, closing deals. And I want to talk to you about saying yes and saying no. And earlier in your career, it's very hard to say no. It's hard to say no to money, just generally speaking, when you're in business, right? You're in business to make money. You don't want to turn down money, but you want also to be discerning. Now, I will say that when you're new, it's hard to be discerning, right? You don't know what you want. You don't know what makes a good client. You don't have a ton of experience. Plus, you're keen to get experience and to just book some projects. So in the beginning, yeah, I think that's the thing to do. Take this kind of project, take that kind of project, experiment, see. If you're a copywriter, what type of copy do you like writing best? What's easiest for you to write? What kinds of clients do you like? Are they in a certain niche, or are they certain types of people, or are they certain types of people in a certain niche? So once you have a sense of what you want to do, you want to be really specific about getting those kinds of projects. And so as you're doing that, and as you're doing outreach, and I have a lot of separate videos on, how to find clients, how to play the long game, how to play the short game, how to build authority. But here's the thing. You are constantly going to be evaluating projects and saying yes and no to projects. And you don't want to spend a whole lot of time evaluating bad fit projects. And so you need to know what those are, obviously. Your criteria can be anything. I mean, it might be that you only write a certain type of copy. It might be that you only write in a certain niche. You only write for SaaS or e-commerce or wellness. It could be that you have a project minimum and you will take any project that's over your minimum. There's all kinds of criteria for defining what makes a good project for you. In the early stages, we tend to say yes to everything because we want the experience, and that's great. But you can get locked in to saying yes for everything and not decide what it is that you actually want to say yes and no to. If you're working on something, you've said yes to a project, you've got it booked in your calendar, we all have a finite amount of time. Every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to another. In other words, there is an opportunity cost for saying yes, because when the ideal project comes along, if you're already booked, you're going to have to say no. Sure, there are some of us who are, so in demand and so specialized that people, we can start a wait list and people say, oh, I want to work with you. No problem. I'll wait till January, March, September, fill in the blank. For most of us, that isn't the case. And so we have to manage our calendars pretty carefully. So we have a constant flow of good projects. And so I understand that saying no can be scary. What if you don't have a project in? I also want to suggest to you, and I've seen this over and over again, the more discerning you get and the more willing you are to look for the exact client you want and to say no to the wrong people and yes to the right people, the more that work starts coming your way. Now, it's not some magic process here, but it's really a question of refining your offers and getting specific about what you do. And first, that's an internal process, and then there's sharing that with your potential audience. And so once what it is that you want to do, it becomes very easy to make a decision and to have a basis for decision making. I'll share a quick story of a woman that I knew years ago. She was a minister, like a spiritual teacher kind of person, and she got a chance to meet with the Dalai Lama in person. And they were going to sit down and have tea together. And she was just beyond thrilled. They sat down, and just as soon as the tea was poured, the assistant also handed the Dalai Lama a packet of mail. It was the day's mail to go through. And this woman, Mary, is thinking, oh, great, I'm going to get my audience with the Dalai Lama is going to be watching him open his mail. But sure enough, he goes through this big stack really quickly. He's like, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 no. He sorts his pile very quickly, and he turns to her and, is now ready to have his conversation and enjoy their tea together. And she says, how did you do that? How did you possibly go through that mail so quickly? And he said, I have one goal in life, and that is to, repatriate my people to Tibet and reclaim the country as my own. And anything that isn't in service to that mission, I say no to. Super simple. And I remember her telling that story and teaching that lesson about decision making. And the idea was that, if you know what your criteria are, then your decisions are very easy to make. It's when we don't know and we're thinking, geez, maybe that would be good, and maybe I should do it, and maybe I should try it, and maybe I should figure it out, and so is doing it. And then, That's when we get away from, what we really know, like, in our core is probably right or wrong for us. Now, again, I want to, qualify this by saying in the early stages, you have to say yes to a lot of things because that's how you learn. But later on, as you get clearer and clearer on what you want, I want to encourage you not to be afraid to say no. And also when something is not a fit for you for a personal reason, like you're getting a vibe that maybe you don't really like this person, or maybe they're not quite above board. If something feels off in your gut, it's probably something you should pay attention to. And I have to tell you, the first time that whether it's paying attention to your gut or whether, it's a pricing thing, whatever it is, the first time you say no, you're going to be shocked at how empowered you feel. I think our tendency is to think, like, if I say no, I'm going to feel terrified, and when will the next project come along, and who am I to say no? And there are all these things that go through our minds. But once you say the no, it's inexplicable, but you suddenly feel like you've shifted the power back to you. Part of what you need to do to build a successful business is you need to have that confidence and sort of that gravitas about your business, because that's what impresses clients. Saying no is a powerful business tool. Controlling what you work on and knowing that there are so many good projects out there. I honestly believe there are more good projects than there are good people to complete those projects. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, and finding your way in this particular spot, the client finding spot, can be tricky. But I want to encourage you to make that a discipline that you pay attention to, and then overlay saying no on top of practicing talking to people and finding out about projects and whether they're a fit for you. The power of no is unbelievably empowering. The power is empowering. Try it out and see if that's not true for you. I can't tell you the number of times people have come back to me and they're like joyous. They're practically dancing. I said no, and I feel great. That's my message for you today. There is power in saying no, and there is power in taking control of your business, knowing what you want and getting it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. If you want to be notified when these videos drop, click the bell. And if you have a question, post it below. I'm happy to answer it. See you soon. Bye for now.